Is Pikuniku worth your time? I actually hope to help you decide that for yourself today. So it's a nice little platformer by Devolver Digital. They've made some pretty solid stuff over the past few years now. They've been on the radar of, I feel like, most people, just in some way or another. They've come out with a lot of different little games, and emphasis on more little games. It's not a bad thing. I think it's great, honestly. But let's look at these settings. So we have a bunch of different languages. There's no actual voiced dialogue in this game. I voiced it for myself when I streamed it. Rumble if you have a controller. Screen shake, that doesn't happen very often, but it happens on occasion. You can look at your controls. You can configure controllers. Credits is who made the game. Music and sound effects. I'm frankly surprised that they had all these options for graphics. It doesn't seem like a game that would need it. I mean, if you're looking at it right here, it looks like very simple vector art, which is, I think, lovely. Full screen, anti-aliasing, I was surprised at that, and VSync, also surprised. But yeah, that's it for its settings. I mean, it's not really lacking in much that I would think of for a game like this. You're not needing a field of view slider. But let's look at the game. So I have completed the game already. So I have this special hat that you get somewhere in the game, and it does different cool things. But I really enjoy the visual style of this game, and I really like rolling downhill and popping up. It's just fun. It's a good little platformer, I think, and its controls, you don't have many controls. You have upright, down, curl into the ball to roll, and that also helps you sink in water, I guess. Z is interact with things, as well as it's for the hat I have on right now. It's this. C is kick, and so, it seems straightforward enough, but what you don't realize is that like, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with that in order to get places. Like there, you have to, jump off onto a spring in order to get going, but not very complex. Here's where you wake up the spider and you fix the bridge. It's not particularly hard, but it's like the first puzzle that introduces you to anything. I didn't think that the puzzles were very difficult in this game. I think they could be considered difficult. I think the platforming sections were much more difficult. There's also some boss battles, and those I found, like, they're not difficult, but they can be frustrating at times. It has, in terms of story, I really enjoy the story, actually, of this game. It has a nice little story, and then it also has these little stories within the stories. Like, I believe that there's a painter who isn't very good at painting, and so you paint something and he realizes he's gonna go into photography or something like that, I believe. And it's just nice. It's little fun stories like that. And the main story itself is pretty good as well, and there's a lot of stuff to do. Now, the extra stuff is where I think the bulk of this game is, honestly. So, like, here's an example. This right here, this was part of progressing the story, and he created this game called Bass Kick. And I mean, I'll show you it right now, and basically what you have to do is you have to try and kick using this, kick the watermelon into the basket. Mine's the one on the right, his the one on the left. First one to 3 points wins the game. You know, seems pretty simple. But it gets very hard, and yes, you can kick each other, and yes, there's these little bumpers. And so, as you can imagine, you can actually combine stuff together. Oh, hey, I'm actually doing alright. Oh no. But as you can imagine, like, just from this is the first little mini game that you have to try and do, and it's not like the easiest thing to do. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting sucked into the game real quick. So, yeah, there's things like this, and there's also these like tiny cutscenes and all these little collectibles and trophies and stuff that I find really nice, and I just won 3-0, and that's actually really impressive. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, and so there's little mini games like this that I think add to the game quite a bit, actually. There are these platforming challenges, which I have not begun to touch because I think they're very difficult, but I'm not a huge platformer, and so it's kind of strange that I picked up this game because I'm not a platformer person, but I still enjoyed it, you know? I still enjoyed it a lot. I wonder if we can water these in some way. Nope. Alright. Just thought, you never know. There's a lot of effort put into like some details in this game, and I really appreciate that. I just enjoy this game. I think that if you were going for 100%ing this game, it would actually add quite a bit of content for you. But yes, so we can find these, and that's the money, and the whole thing is that in the start of the game you quickly learn that the Sunshine Inc., I believe it's called, is giving out free money in exchange for getting a few things here and there. And it seems kind of sketch, and you come to learn that it is. Of course, I mean, no one gives out free money, really. But the thing that I find so weird about it is you can't even tell which way your character's facing, and I feel like normally that wouldn't be that frustrating, but there's a few times where I was like kicking the wrong way when I needed to kick, you know, left, I kicked right instead or something like that. But yeah, just I think aside from that, that's one thing that I disliked a little bit, is not knowing which way you were facing, and how frustrating segments of it can be because you only have one hit point, or you know, really. There's no fall damage even though the guy's freaking out. But yeah, it can be a little frustrating in certain segments, which, you know, shouldn't be too ridiculous, but it's still a little, I don't know. You know, like I said, it's not, this is probably not the game for me, but I think I've shown you enough to where you can figure out if it's the game for you. If you like indie platformers with a nice little story to them and that aren't too long, like I said, it's about 3 hours to get through the story if you're just going through the story, or at least it was for me. I guess you could be faster than me, I wouldn't doubt it. But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and it was nice. I liked it. So hopefully you've been able to decide for yourself whether this is worth your time or